Hey guys, V here, and today we're just going to go ahead and do a quick unboxing and review of the Thermaltake Level 20 MT8 RGB. I bought this yesterday at Micro Center for $100. I will link it in the description. With all that being said, let's get right into this unboxing. It's actually a fairly light case. I was expecting quite a bit heavier. Alright, so what do we got here? The cool thing that stood out to me is the 3 RGB fans that it comes with already, straight up out of the box. They're already in there. The other thing is, this case, you can take it straight up out of the box. You don't have to even buy a single fan for it. It already has the 3 there, and then it has one non-RGB in the rear. So this case already comes with tons of RGB goodies. The other thing I really need in a PC is the USB 3.0s in the front. This does have its own RGB button over here. I believe it is compatible with, yep, it is, Asus AuraSync, Gigabyte RGB Fusion, which we are going to use in this build, MSI Mystic Light, and RGB MB Sync. So all of these are supported. Definitely a lot of ventilation going on in here. The other thing that I like about this is this has the mesh right there at the bottom. Let me take this glass cover off and I'm going to show you. This mesh right here, so that means I can actually take my power supply and either put it down so the fan is sucking straight from the bottom, or I can put it this way so the fan can suck air from this side, which means that can be used as another exhaust fan, which is convenient because then you have better airflow. So with all that being said, I definitely like this case so far. It definitely has the features that I want. It has plenty of ventilation, as you can see, top, side, bottom, all type of stuff, all type of ventilation in here. So far I'm really liking this case. Like I said, it is pretty lightweight, which was kind of surprising to me because of, you know, how big it is and the 2 glass panels. You would think it's much heavier than what it is. So with all that being said, I'm going to get right into building this PC, and then if you want to watch any of the other videos of me putting this together, I will have a whole entire series of videos. Some of them will be linked down below, and definitely check out my channel for all those other videos. Alright guys, and we are finished, and this thing turned out super stunning. I mean, just look at it. This thing is awesome. I'm giving you guys a second to take this all in. But let's get back into this case review, and want to mention a couple things that I did not like first. So obviously, because this whole area there is wide open, your cable management skills have to be on point, and I think I did very well. Also down here, because it's open, I wish it would be closed from the power supply on, because well, I mean, you see some cables down there. Again, your cable management has to be on point, but I'm thinking when I put the back cover back on, which is down there, some of those cables will just blend in and you won't really see them. So cable management is definitely a must with this build. I took my time. I routed all the fan cables in a specific way to get them kind of back there instead of on the rear side and going across over there and stuff. That being said, other thing I noticed, there aren't too many. There's only one hole there in the rear, and then one hole there in the rear. So you're needing a lot of cables going through each one. And okay, granted, there's only 2 small ones there, and there's only one there, but with the power supply there, it's kind of hard to get the cables in unless you take the power supply out or move it, and you know, it doesn't really sit flush here. With a full-size board, there isn't too much room to work. I guess if you had a smaller board, as you can see up there, there isn't too much space. And then the last thing I really didn't like is the fact that there's nowhere to hide these cables from the front panel. I really wish there was like at least like a little panel here that would just cover them or something. But I mean, that's not a big deal. Nobody's gonna be like literally doing this. They're gonna be looking at it from up here, and you know, it's not a deal breaker. But let me go ahead and show you the backside. Right now I'm installing all the drivers and stuff. Here's the front without the front cover on, and of course I'm going to show you guys with the front cover on. But there's the back, so you can see kind of how I had to route the cables away from that mesh there, kind of behind the board, and all, like I had to shove a bunch of cables in that area where the power supply is because I didn't want them here, because then you would be able to see them through that mesh. And then a couple of the fan cables had to come through the hard drive slots. I don't have any hard drives, I just got the Samsung SSD in there. So, you know, I used the space as best as I could, but I can't imagine if you had more cables than this, you would definitely have a harder time doing this. But overall, again, not a deal breaker. Now, the things I really like about this case. One, the fact that this is meshed. So if you got an RGB PSU like I did, you could definitely see it. And it doubles as a exhaust fan, which is great for more exhaust. Depends what you want. If you want more exhaust or more intake, it's up to you. But overall, I'm using it as an exhaust fan. But that's one thing I really like. The ventilation on this case is just crazy. It's very good compared to my Lee 205 that I used in my previous couple videos. This ventilation is quite a bit better. Even with the front cover on, it does have vents in the front, and those work very well. So overall, that's one of my favorite things about this case. Besides the RGBs, of course, the fact that they include 3 really high quality. Actually, they're super quiet. They're actually more quiet than that one, and that's from Touch Aqua. And then those are the Lee cases, or fans I should say, but definitely quieter than the rest of the fans. So they're very high quality. So that's that. This can support 3 fans in the front. The last case I could only support 2. I love the fact that they give you plenty of options here. You can control the RGBs here with this button, or what I did is I have it going straight through my motherboard, but press and hold this and it'll change up, so you can adjust them manually. So now when you press the button, you can do whatever you want with them, or press and hold again and it's back to the software. So now you can't change them. I love the fact that they have HD audio here. They got the USB 3.0s here, and a reset button and a power button. So all those features there packed in that little area is great. I like the location of them as well. That turned out perfect. I love the fact that this has a glass front, which is in the box currently, so I don't break it while I'm still working on this thing. But I am about to put it back together. I just wanted to show you guys all the wiring and all of that. Overall, there's plenty of space. I mean, this is a GTX 1650, and I mean, it's not a big GPU by any means, but you could definitely have a really big GPU if you needed. There's plenty of space here for an extra GPU, maybe 2, I'm not really sure, haven't tried. But anyways, I'm not going to use dual or even triple, if that's even possible, I don't know. But overall, plenty of space besides for the wiring, like I said before. There isn't too much space there, but definitely a lot of ventilation, a lot of color. It looks really nice. This whole side is going to be a glass panel. Another thing, positive thing, is if you have a really nice SSD. I was going to put my Samsung one here because it does match and it looks cool, but I was like, nah. So I might even remove this. I might just leave it for now. But for me, it's kind of a must to have one in the rear just to cover it up and get rid of it. I like the clean aesthetic look, so that's what I usually go for. Overall, this case, this build turned out great. I'm super happy that I went with this case. The other positive note that I have on this full-size motherboard actually lined up perfectly. Unlike the Lian Li case that I used in my previous videos, that one, the holes for the motherboard wouldn't really line up properly. And then this rear part right here would not line up very well on that. Also, the GPU wouldn't line up perfectly on the Lian Li, whereas this, I had absolutely zero issue with it, which is awesome because I hate when I have issues. And again, comparing the Lian Li case, this does not have a removable tray up here for the fans, which on the Lian Li case, it makes a lot of noise with that tray. However, this one doesn't have that, so it does not have that noise issue. The amount of accessories that come with this case for what I paid, $100, I believe it was on sale, is just incredible. I will definitely be buying this case for a future build. Again, this is, you know, for a customer or something. This is my personal PC that's actually replacing that one right there. So, you know, to me, this is a huge upgrade and I'm super excited for that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you guys watching and thank you for subscribing. I will see you in the next one. Peace.
Never stop dreaming.